we are going to create something so unique that it really will be able for us to change how we're delivering healthcare. In my humble opinion, healthcare has moved too much to sick care. We need to bring it back what the word says. The word says not sick care, the word says healthcare. Very interesting, Mr. Ford, Henry Ford, when he started to build the Henry Ford Hospital downtown, he brought his architect and his designer in. And he basically said, I want you to go out there and I want you to design my hospital as a hotel for sick people. It's in the history book. And here I am as a hotelier opening one of his hospitals. And
when we did that first benchmark study, it was very eye-opening. We were not very good at hiring people, and our whole definition of talent drastically changed. So we started there, and from that point forward, we used Talent Plus for every selection. And that was our first screening tool.
There's no more sure way to waste all the investment to hire the right people and to put the processes in place to have leadership that doesn't believe in talent. Recently heard, if you gave a positive compliment to 3 people, and each of those 3 people gave a positive compliment to 3 other people, and so on and so on, how many iterations do you think it would take, mathematically, to cover the entire world, the entire population of the world, with 3 positive messages? I was astounded. How many iterations would you think? Any guesses? 26. 26 iterations to change the world. One person at a time. And that's a different approach to change.
So here I was working in home care, and one night I say that I was bored, but I think it was in divine order that I decided to go onto the website. Now I'm working for Henry Ford, but in the home care division. So this night I decided to go on the website, and I saw this position for supervisor of rehab. I go, oh, West Bloomfield, fill it out, probably won't get it. And then the phone rang the next day. Myself from Don Frieda, who was a regional manager, and said that he was calling in response to my online application. And so the ball started rolling. And that led to a series of things. I was told about Talent Plus, that you'll get a phone interview and that's the next phase. And I didn't know what Talent Plus was. So I went to Google, my inquisitive self, and I'm trying to do all the things that I've always been told about the interview process. Looked up Henry Ford, found out how much money they gave to charity and what their gross sales were, and wanted to know what Talent Plus was and the whole 9 yards. So I had my list of 5 questions I was going to ask the interview person, the whole 9 yards. And when I finished the Talent Plus process, I went, wow. It was at that moment that I said, I like those questions. I felt like I had a chance to express who I was as a being. I felt I had a chance to be honest. I didn't know who was on the other side. I didn't know what they were going to do with the information either. And then I got the phone call that you've been selected for the position.
That's all right. That's the whole mission here, right? Is to reach the employees who can then reach the customers, or our patients, and our community at large. Because, and I got to tell a quick story while I get started on this. I learned a long time ago that a chef coat makes you an immediate, instant authority on food, whether you're qualified or not. So whenever a chef walks into the dining room, he must know what he's talking about. So by just by just my occupation, I realized that I got instant acknowledgement for what I know. As the chef of Morel's, a Michigan bistro, when people would look us up in the phone book, they'd ask me all questions about Michigan agriculture and things. And often I didn't know. You don't know it all. So, excuse me, let me give my name and number. I'm really busy. Let me call you back. When in reality, I just didn't know. And so, regardless if you're qualified or not, you're the authority on food.
I will tell you briefly about my knee surgery. I wish I could show you. It made national TV, by the way. I cut it down to about a 3 or 4 minute clip. And the long story short is unfortunately, I've been a downhill skier for 30 years, and I had been wakeboarding for 5 years. And it was a rough day, and I went up and I came down and I blew out my ACL on my right knee. And I went to the team doctor for the Red Wings, and I said, hey Dave, I said, I guess I need this done. He goes, yep. I said, I don't want to be put to sleep. He goes, what do you mean you don't want to be put to sleep? Oh, you want a spinal? I said, no, don't want a spinal. He goes, what, are you going to bite a bullet? And I said, well, no, I'm going to have acupuncture and hypnotherapy. And he went, I'm like, okay. Long story short, 20 minutes into the surgery, they're operating on me, and I had acupuncture needles, electrotherapy, and I had the mind-body therapist talking to me, and my pain got to be severe enough that they had to stop 5 times for about 10 seconds, and they would turn up the electroacupuncture, and they're drilling holes in my femur about the size of my index finger. They're drilling holes in my tibia. They're putting in screws. They're taking a hammer and chisel, and I was awake talking to them as they were doing this. About 20 minutes into it, I said, hey Dave, hey Kyle, how's it bleeding? And they leaned over, they had masks on, they go, there ain't much bleeding. And I looked at them and I said, would you like me to make it less? And then, so they have that on videotape actually, and they just said, no, whatever you're doing, just keep doing it. I had no idea what I was doing, except that I was thinking that although they will cut in this area, I will not bleed in this area. They got through with the surgery. 6 weeks, mind you, normally people's quads don't fire, hamstrings don't fire after these types of routine surgery. My quads and hamstrings were firing in the recovery room. Most people at my age, I was 42 years old, 43 years of age. 16, 17-year-olds quick. At our age, it's not so quick. And usually it's about a year before you're full strength. I was full strength at about 3 months. I was walking that night. They said, you got to walk with crutches, nothing will work. And I was walking that night without crutches. And it's the power of the things that we're embracing here.